Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright, so obviously we have to make this video. It's the #1 trending topic on Twitter. And honestly, the news cycle's been pretty much dead the last couple of days, so yep, this is pretty much it. This is apparently the most relevant story. We're talking about Lauren Boebert's little theater situation. You know, I'd be a complete hypocrite if I didn't talk about it. Because, you know, obviously if it was a Democrat politician, then I'd make a video without question. So let's try to be as fair as possible as we analyze this apparent huge story. All the leftist activists on Twitter are calling for Lauren Boebert to resign from her position. It's apparently a really big career-ending scandal. Not so convinced, not so sure I see it that way. Let me give you guys my opinion as per usual. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so here's the backstory. Here's an article written by Kristen Taylor at the Gateway Pundit. Lauren Boebert apologizes after theater surveillance video shows her vaping and getting frisky with her date before being kicked out of Beetlejuice performance. Representative Lauren Boebert issued an apology on Friday after new surveillance video was posted online Thursday night that showed Boebert vaping and engaging in heavy petting with her date, reportedly a Democrat man, before the couple was kicked out of a Denver theater on Sunday after several complaints from audience members during a performance of the Beetlejuice musical regarding alleged vaping, singing, taking pictures, and, quote, causing a disturbance. Boebert cited her public and difficult divorce. So I think this video right over here, the surveillance video, pretty much shows exactly what happened. And so this is the big scandal. Obviously, there's one part that I'm not going to show you guys, which is Lauren Boebert and her boyfriend getting kind of frisky in public. It seems as though the lights were off, but still, I mean, it happened. Her and her boyfriend, or possibly her date, not exactly sure, got a little touchy during the event. You could also see Lauren Boebert recording or taking photos with the flash on, laughing out loud, possibly causing a disturbance, and also apparently vaping, which the evidence is pretty clear that it seems as though that's exactly what she was doing. From this shot right over here, that is definitely Lauren Boebert exhaling vape while sitting in a packed theater. She was then removed from the theater after several complaints, and finally she responded with a statement on Facebook that reads, "The past few days have been difficult and humbling, and I am truly sorry for the unwanted attention my Sunday evening in Denver has brought to the community. While none of my actions or words as a private citizen that night were intended to be malicious or meant to cause harm, the reality is that they did, and I regret that. There is no blueprint for going through a public and difficult divorce, which over the past few months has made for a challenging personal time for me and my entire family. I've tried to handle it with strength and grace as best as I can, but I simply fell short on my values on Sunday. That's unacceptable, and I'm sorry." Whether it was the excitement of seeing a much anticipated production or the natural anxiety of being in a new environment, I genuinely did not recall vaping that evening when I discussed the night's events with my campaign team while confirming my enthusiasm for the musical. Regardless of my belief, it's clear now that that was not accurate. It was not my or my campaign's intention to mislead, but we do understand the nature of how this looks. We know that we will have to work to earn your trust back, and it may not happen overnight, but we will do it. I am deeply thankful to those in the 3rd District who have defended me and reached out this week and offered grace and support when I needed it most. I've learned some humbling lessons these past few days, but I vow moving forward that I will make you proud. And so it's kind of a weird situation, you know. Lauren Boebert, I believe she's 36 years old, if I'm not mistaken, obviously had several severe lapses of judgment, obviously not going to deny. If I was president present that day and I had no idea that it was Lauren Boebert, and I was sitting in that theater and she was snapping photos, making a bunch of noise, vaping, whatever it is, I'd be lying to you if I said that it wouldn't bother me. It obviously would bother me. Clearly she was being obnoxious. There was multiple reports that she was apparently rude to some customers who had asked her to stop, and apparently she had an attitude with security. So I'm not going to sit here and defend her actions because I think her actions were obviously ill-advised, to say the least, and disruptive. It's not how any 36-year-old woman should be acting out in public during an event. You'd expect this kind of behavior from like a group of rowdy 16-year-olds. A 36-year-old United States Congresswoman obviously shouldn't be acting like this in public. I think we can all be fair and acknowledge that the behavior was poor, but am I going to sit here and join the cancel calls to hop on this bandwagon of destroying Lauren Boebert as a congresswoman? Obviously not. It's not like she committed some horrible crime. She acted dumb in public. She acted stupid. That is 100% accurate. It doesn't mean that she should resign. I think a lot of us have done some dumb things in our lives, especially in our younger years. I don't think just because we acted irrationally or because we may have done something stupid or tried to be rebellious and cool and badass and we've done something that we've regretted, I don't think that means that we should be condemned for a lifetime, never to be allowed to serve public office again. That is obviously a completely ridiculous standard. I'm seeing so many people on Twitter writing stuff like, how can anyone defend Lauren Boebert? Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by defend. Am I defending her actions outright? No, of course I'm not. But am I jumping on the bandwagon, suggesting that Lauren Boebert's entire life should be destroyed because she made one bad decision? Again, of course not. And I'm definitely not going to be lectured on a topic like this by any of these Democrats. I mean, let's really put it into perspective. The same Democrats who are outraged that Lauren Boebert and her boyfriend engaged in frisky behavior in a dark public space are the same people who constantly defend the current president of the United States, who has a history, a documented video history of sniffing young kids. They're also the same people who supported Andrew Gillum. The guy bouncing around from motel rooms, smoking meth with other men. Give me a break. We have to apply at least a fair standard here and not a double standard. Personally, I'm a little bit sympathetic to Lauren Boebert. 36 years old, under constant attack from the media, going through a public divorce. She's obviously going through a rough time. It's probably a confusing crisis moment for her personally. She's not exactly midlife, but she's close. Maybe it's kind of like a little bit of a midlife crisis. It happens. It's unfortunate. Hopefully she sees the errors in her way, and it seems like she has. She's admitted to all of it. She's apologized, and she's going to work on regaining people's trust. I mean, I have no issue with that. I think when it comes to situations like this, we have to be able to separate politics and personal. Of course, if the personal scandal is somehow related to politics, then that standard changes. If you're pulling in millions of dollars in, let's say, bribes or something, while you were serving as vice president of the United States, then you don't separate personal and political. But in this case, I mean, what she does in her private life doesn't affect the politics. I still like Lauren Boebert. I still like what she stands for. And as long as she picks up the pieces, admits fault, and moves forward a better person, it's a non-issue for me. The only issue is that Lauren Boebert is facing a pretty tough race. I mean, she barely squeaked by in the last election, and so most likely her image is going to be further tarnished by this, and it could possibly put her seat in the Republican House in jeopardy. That, of course, is a concern. That is a political ramification concern, but if anything, that's just democracy at play. Lauren Boebert now has a public scandal. She has an image problem, and she needs to fix it. Let the democratic process play out, and it pretty much ends there. That's my opinion on it. I don't think she should resign. I think leftists are obviously trying to exaggerate the situation. It's an unfortunate situation. Move on and try to fix it. That's pretty much what I got for you guys, though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.